Mothers are primarily bringing their daughters out of a inability to control their sons or get them to agree outright to do these things, because some boys might want to be on the video game, some boys might want to be on the basketball court. Nothing really wrong with that, but I realize the difference is a dad in the house to make him go. My son ain't gonna be on the, he could play basketball after camp, right? So I just noticed that is one of the biggest issues with moms, is that the second you get some pushback from your son, you're just going to focus on the one that listens more.
I'm currently designing and renovating a state school out in Massachusetts, and this school produces and prepares young students to become teachers of all sorts, right? Special ed, all branches, and I've I've interviewed the students. I've walked through the campus and stuff like that. Do you know the vast majority of all those students who are in that educate that um science, higher ed, health science and stuff? Great majority of them are like 82% women. Very
Oh
few
yeah.
dudes. It's
Oh yeah.
like I see like one dude like maybe every like hour, if that. Like there's
Oh yeah.
very few dudes. I mean,
Well, that
that's what
speaks
really
to what you were saying before too, Lewis, when we were talking about being involved in community and having programs, and you say a lot of times the girls are the ones that's showing up for the programs. So that was my question that I had. How do we attract boys, whether it's to be educated,
Yeah.
going to school, or being involved in the programs that, you was talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what is it about black boys? And
So it's
like,
I,
what is
I
it?
I I gotta look at it like this. This is interesting to me. This is my hypothesis on this. My wife is just signed our daughter up for medical school camp at Prairie View University or whatever. Um, and I realized that all of her hopes and dreams and desires basically go to our daughter. And one of the reasons why is because she can't get our son to sit down at the moment. But I make him sit down, I make him listen. And then I'm the one who asks about, well, what are we doing for him? And she'll sit there like, well, we want to do an engineering camp. We absolutely fucking do want to do an engineering camp, or he can go to the same camp as his sister. And what I've noticed is that because I took my niece a few weeks ago to some science camp they were having down in Houston, and I realized, oh snap, mothers are primarily bringing their daughters out of a inability to control their sons or get them to agree outright to do these things, because some boys might want to be on the video game, some boys might want to be on the basketball court. Nothing really wrong with that, but I realize the difference is a dad in the house to make him go. My son ain't gonna be on the, he could play basketball after camp, right? So I just noticed that is one of the biggest issues with moms, is that the second you get some pushback from your son, you're just going to focus on the one that listens more. And now, of course, that's naturally going to be the daughter, because I can get my son to do anything very easy. His mother struggles, right?
I would
So
agree that fathers are I mean, and nobody's gonna ever deny that
Yeah.
dad, especially when it's a dad that who is of basically a good dad. Nobody's gonna deny that, because I know even with
yeah,
my
who's present.
who's present. Because even with my son as a when my son was very young, I remember my son is a great kid, but I was remember there was one time where he just acted a fool at school, and his dad was in law school at the time. He was very young, and I remember I made a phone call. Y'all, I kid you not. Mistake has probably heard this story several times. I kid you not. I called his dad, and I'm like, look, you got to talk to him because I don't know what this is about. And his dad spoke to him the next day, y'all. I kid you not. I promise. He called me while I was at work. He said, "Do you want him to get on the bus? Or you want me to bring him home?" I was like, "What?" He said, "Oh no, no, you act a fool at school. I'm gonna take care of that ass at school." He flew in town and told my son if he ever has to do it again, we're gonna have issues. Needless to say, I didn't have no more issues
yeah,
from my son.
Can I
it's kind
ask
of
all of
sad.
you guys that have worked in education? what are the major differences between the so-called white schools and the inner city schools? What are the major differences? Why
Teacher
Tax
do the
dollars.
Funding.
Tax dollars, bro.
teacher retention.
Well, okay, that's one, but let me get one that it's teacher retention, parent involvement.
Yeah, parent
Well, that
involvement,
goes with that. If there were more parents
Okay.
involved, teachers may stay.
Man,
parent
let me tell
involvement
you,
is a big one.
when people pay, and there is nothing that these people in this neighborhood and these neighborhoods and school district that they want that they don't get. They know exactly how much money they spend in taxes. I think this is the most expensive school district in Texas and the number one in Houston. Anything goes wrong at the school, they don't like something they saw in the curriculum, it's going on next door, it's going on the community chat. I'm getting buzz, 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 buzz. All kindergarten grades, we're going up to the school. They rally to get what they want because it's literally their money. So when you understand how your dollar is spent, you can go make demands because you know they have the money. The inner city school, no, you have such a mix of neighborhoods where these people aren't actually paying taxes. They can't make any demands, and you have low parent involvement.
The other issue too that is easy, especially on an elementary level, is a lot of times you already have. I'll say, I know you said the difference between white schools and black schools is that they are coming in already, knowing, like I used to teach kindergarten as well, knowing basic things like knowing, coming in, knowing their ABCs, recognizing letters, recognizing shapes, right? It's just a lot, having a larger vocabulary. Parents have read to them, so they're exposed to more literature and words and things like that. So they are able to come in, they're coming in with a higher baseline than other kids that are in the more low economic areas. So you're already starting behind with those students. So it's so much catch up work that you're trying to do.
So
So that's
my
the thing.
my daughter starts a new charter school next month, and they don't have the PTA. It's called the PTO because it's just as many dads as it is moms. And when they were trying to recruit me on and get my whole skill set, when I say parent involvement, it's dads that built the school. They put up the chalkboards. They're the one like drilling. So they don't have to spend money. They save money because they save on labor. Literally. So when I say parent involvement, parents involved with everything. If the teacher, something in the budget didn't come
Yep.
up and
Volunteering.
requisition won't come down from the school, from the superintendent fast enough, the parents will rally and get it for the student. Like, or some get their job to donate. Like, parent involvement is extremely important.
So, is there a way to incentivize in the inner city more parent involvement? Is that even a
Oh, shit.
possibility?
What?
I just told you what to do.
Can we read the super chats?
Go ahead. Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Inaz was about to say
All right,
something.
I'm about to get back to work, man.
No, I was going to say the
listening.
same thing. We need to take this commercial break.